Alright, today is not the finale, but close. This will ideally be the last chip farming stream for the BN6 post-game, and therefore all the Battle Network post-games that I've streamed. Hello Eric, good to see ya. Hope you had a good holiday. Of course, New Year's is not yet here, but, you know, Christmas or whatever you celebrate. Hope it was good. That goes for everybody else watching this as well. Potentially in post, whatever it might be. And I am closer than ever to finishing up this post game before the end of the year, which was my goal. Kind of dragged my feet on getting back into things. Last time I went from 175 out of 200 to 194, so I guess we got 19 chips. One of which, through the chip trader, is an extremely rare find, being Silence. This is a 2% encounter, non-elemental. So there's no, I don't think there's any way, maybe there's an enemy that it's paired with that I could try to pull, but the fact of the matter is I pulled this through to the chip trader very fortuitously. Is that a word that works there? But yeah, we got 6 more chips than base. Then there is one more Giga chip that I need to buy. I have 67 out of 100 bug frags for that. There's a standard chip that if I don't get the yellow mystery data in Undernet 2, then I will need to buy that for 80. And I probably want to do that first, so that way I can fight base at the very least. But the goal for today is at least to get to 199. If I don't get Neo Variable, then that's okay, as long as I make progress on bug frag farming. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and I was thinking Chargeman spawns like right outside Undernet 2, which is where the yellow mystery data that I need will spawn. So I figure we can just use Chargeman to quickly get into Undernet 2, check the GMDs if they're YMDs, and then bounce out back in quicker than going there from Sky Area and potentially running into Element Man and all that. But first and foremost, Machine Gun 3. Number 57. Sniper enemy. Graveyard 1, 3.9%. Now let me just remind myself what else is in Graveyard 1. So Machine Gun 3, this is the YMD, the Yellow Mystery Data. 87. This is Assassin Sword Doom Mech. I'm gonna put these in like another tab. Mac Gun. Doom Mech is Graveyard 2, so I'll skip that one for now. Sandworm 3. Snake Arm 3. Graveyard 2 as well. So we'll skip that one as well. Summon. Darkmare. Darkmare's Graveyard 1. And then, was there one more? Yeah. Wood Dragon, that's right. I think this is... I believe this is Graveyard 2. Yeah. Okay. So it's just Machine Gun 3 and Summon Black 3 for a Graveyard 1. Unfortunately, 2 non-elemental guys. So I do have lock enemies. 6 of them, in fact. In case I decide to make use of that. So Machine Gun... The thing that I'm unsure of is which formation I really want. I'm gonna quickly try to do this because I think it'll kill. Oh, it only hits the back 3. Okay. And my controller died. I'm sorry about that. Let me swap the batteries out right quick. Usually I'll do that before the stream starts, but it didn't occur to me that it might die. Although I will say that... Is YouTube gonna... Okay, it was in the middle of changing tracks. I will say these... I got like the regular Panasonic Eneloop rechargeable batteries, because, of course, the charging port on my controller has been whack. I don't know if it's a charger, like I haven't really tried... I've tried a different cord, but it's the same model of cord, so it's hard to say. Darkmare, we do need to fight these guys. Space Cowboy, good to see ya. Need to kill these guys with swords. I also want that GMD, if possible. We almost have 2 times hero, but that would destroy the GMD. I'm thinking I'll burn some of this to try to draw, like... Proto-Man's pretty good here. Even though I could do 2 times hero, I don't actually want to do that, because I want to preserve the mystery data. Oh, I hope this kills. Oh, he didn't spawn in yet, fucking bastard. You fucking ass. I'm so shit. God damn it. I'm doing alright. Doing alright. Unexpectedly short workday today, which I guess is good, but, you know. When I go in, it's nice to, like, actually go in for more... a greater amount of time is ideal, but it's not a big deal. Off the next couple of days because of the holiday, again. It's like a really awkward, New Year's timing. Like, the fact that it's... on a Tuesday, Wednesday, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And so it's like, okay, back to work for like a day or two, and then off again. For most people who are just off on the day, or just off on the eve, or whatever it might be. Usually it's the day, January 1st. And perhaps I should have lock enemied the Darkmare. I think next time I encounter the Darkmare guy, I might lock enemy to try to get that. Increase my odds of getting that drop. I do have a little snack here, though. A protein bar. If I could grab it. Yeah, it was just weird. I mean, I was like traveling right before Christmas also, like the weekend before, for work, but I guess my other work, not my like, what I do most often, but yeah. I was traveling like the weekend before, so I kind of just scrambled to figure out like, what am I doing for presents? Are we even gonna do presents? Because, you know, everyone in my family is, like, grown. So, I feel like the presents thing is more so if there's, like, you know, little cousins or nephews or, you know, I guess children, in the case of some people my age. But, not the case. Not the case. Alright, this should damage both of them, right? Okay. I'm so shit. Ah, fuck me. Alright, I'll just finish the encounter and then lock enemy. It's fine. The music is fitting. Alright, we'll lock it. I think, like, Wood Dragon, funny enough, is gonna be not necessary to lock because I can use jungle to find it. I mean, I want the mystery data is the thing. If it's a bad drop, then I won't save. Okay, it's a bad drop, so I won't save. Any and all bug frag drops, I think I'm just gonna, like, retain. Even if I have to go buy more lock enemies for whatever reason. But yeah, I did mention last time I finished up Midnight Suns. I feel liberated, not feeling obligated to play it anymore. Not that it was bad. It was actually quite good. It's just, I'm just ready to move on, you know? Pretty stock superhero-y kinds of stuff, so I was kind of like... I was kind of, just a little bit over it. After a certain point, but, been playing more Legacy of Kain's Soul Reaver. And I'm torn if that's going to be video-worthy or not. I would need to finish the first one and then actually play the second one and see. Like, I probably wouldn't do a video on, like, just the first game. I think I'm around halfway through, though. I've been going for some of the achievements, some of which are a little tricky. So that's been a little bit frustrating, but that is like a self-inflicted kind of thing. And some of it I could save for like a second playthrough or something if I think that's in the cards. But it's cool. Very, like, I mentioned this last time, but like very... Soul Reaver reminds me, at least, of the N64 Zeldas quite a bit. Kind of gives similar vibes. Not similar vibes as far as atmosphere, but just like progression, like earning abilities and shit like that, but yeah. 6 should have been by far the hardest Battle Network game. Yeah, they didn't really crank up, given the amount of tools at your disposal and the increased power level on the player side, they didn't really crank up the enemies or bosses nearly enough to, like, leverage that. Alright, so we got that, so then Machine Gun 3 is the only other one that we need from this area. Then we move on to Graveyard 2. Although, of course, the lock enemy is still in place, which is fine, because I can get more battle GMDs. I guess I'll just do this, like, chip the... Wait a second. Sorry. Did the music just... It's buffering again, it's doing that stupid shit that it does. I'll drop it to 144p and just see the playback on my playlist, that is. Drop that down. Lit. Had him an issue since 4, that's also fair. Yeah, it's also fair. Yeah, it'd be great if more of these games had difficulty modes. I feel like that's something... I feel like it's somewhat of a missed opportunity. Obviously 2 has that hard mode and 4 has its multiple difficulties, but... something more than just, you know, buffing HP pools kind of deal. Like, in 4 it is different because you're facing the higher variants, actually. But 4's got so many other issues that it's like, yeah. But, what do I want to do here? You bitch! You have 180 still. I guess in that case, just double Proto Man, I guess. Just wait for you to be in front. But yeah, this is one of many reasons why a new Battle Network, or, you know, just new Mega Man RPG in this vein would be would be great, because there's a lot of, say what you want about the modern gaming scene. There's definitely issues. I feel like those tend to not be so much in the RPG genre. It's more so like big budget AAA, like third person kinds of shit. But like I don't know, I feel like RPGs are in a place where there's a lot of modern conventions and design decisions in modern RPGs that I think would benefit a game like this. Like New Game Plus, which I guess you could say, okay, that's been around since Chrono Trigger, or maybe before then, I don't know. Maybe in the RPG genre, Chrono Trigger was the first to do it, I don't know exactly. That's the earliest instance I can think of. But, okay, Lock Enemy finally expired. But yeah, like a new RPG with modern design sensibilities, in that this game is very old school, and I don't mind that, but I think that there's like a happy medium, right? And you can already save anywhere in these games, so that's not like as much of a concern. I do need to beat the snipers. By the time you're doing multiple playthroughs, all the extra power-ups. Yeah, you're right. It'd be a different story if, we can lock this guy, right? It'd be a different story if, like, in 4, you were starting from scratch with the different difficulties, but it is a New Game Plus coupled with difficulty modes. So it's a little, yeah. Beasting out would almost feel like a necessity. Yeah, it would be cool to feel like more of that risk-reward with Beast Out, whereas as it stands, you can just kind of Beast Out and, like, nuke everything. Which is satisfying to a degree, but again, there's like a fine line. And balancing games is hard, especially like vast RPGs like this, where you have a ton of options and stuff like that. Granted, even the smallest of tweaks would have benefited, I think. Like, even just, upping damage output from bosses or something like that sooner. Two and 3. Get the difficulty scaling in some way. Yeah, because in 2 and 3 you really have to, like, you have to build more. Because you don't have access to, like, every style at once, right? Like, you don't have the option to just pick which style. You just have the one style or two styles in BN2's case you can swap between. Yeah, whereas 4, 5, and 6, once you unlock those doubles, holes, and crosses, sure, in 4 and 5 you need to, like, put chips in your folder of that element to activate them, but that's not a huge barrier to entry. I did lock enemy, right? Infrate Lemu X, or even Apollo Flame, you almost need Tribe King or else you get cooked. Yeah, I haven't really messed much with Star Force's post-game stuff, but I'm not surprised to hear that they really put you through the ringer with those. But I also think part of that too is because Star Force's combat is, in a sense, inherently more limited. So I think it's easier to craft a higher difficulty curve in that way. Whereas like 4, 5, and 6, I think, yes, there's a power level thing as far as like damage output and damage taken, whatever. But it's really just like the amount of options. And sure, yeah, code selection was cut back in 4, 5, and 6. There's only 3 codes per most chips, at least. Or 4 codes if you're counting star. Versus the usual 5 or 6 if you're counting star in BN2 and 3. So there's inherently limitations there, yeah, sorta, kinda. But it's just like, yeah, you have so many more tools at your disposal that you can pull from more easily. And like it's not that Star Force isn't versatile in like its deck building, but it's more like the moment-to-moment combat as well is I'm gonna soft reset. It's more so the more moment-to-moment combat just being like there's only 3 spots you could possibly be standing, and so like designing where enemy attacks land, it's easier to make that more punishing, I guess. I think. As someone who's definitely not a game designer, but that's kind of how I see things, I guess. And it would have been great to see. I mean, I never really expected it because Capcom hasn't really done anything like this in the previous Legacy collections, but yeah, like I never expected them to add extra difficulties because there wasn't a precedent for that really. But yeah, I think that's just, I don't know, that's just a case for a new entry. I would love to get this drop, that'd be great. Almost falls in the same category as 4 and 6. Yeah, I think I would agree, although I do think that 2 and 3, like by the end game certainly, but I think like 2 and 3 do, well, okay, there's like Gator and stuff like that, sure. But for the most part, I think that they dole out the really broken stuff. I feel like it tends to be later on, but I guess it depends on playstyle also. Like I was never, when I played these games growing up, or at least, you know, 3, 5, and 6, which were the ones that I grew up with, I didn't really experiment much with like program advances beyond the really obvious ones. Even though I was a frequenter of like GameFAQs and stuff like that anyway, so I could have just looked them up. But some of the really busted stuff you could have access to, like it doesn't really cross my mind, even to this day, when playing the early game of those games for whatever reason. Like I kind of just like stick to what I kind of just like stick to whatever I get from enemy drops, as opposed to like going out of my way to farm for the really broken stuff. But I get what you mean though. But I do think that I just think that 2 and 3 do dole out the challenge a little bit more evenly, even if it is still certainly on the easier side, especially for those of us who, you know, grew up with these games. Because I know, like, these games have a weirdly high difficulty curve, I think, for new players. So keeping that in mind, too, to an extent. I want to do this. Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair. God damn it. Yeah, there's the machine gun again. I'm just unsure if I should wait to see what... I guess I should wait... Yeah, wait and see if the sandworm is on the other side. Because one of these S ranks, I'm bound to get it. Because I haven't gotten it yet, right? Yeah, we're still at 195. It's also, I think, tricky too, because the program advances, is there anything in the games that tell you about the program advances? Because obviously part of the design philosophy, I should have just fought these guys, but I didn't have an insta-kill. Part of the design philosophy was like, I don't know if Capcom expected people to share this information on the internet. I don't know how else you'd figure out a lot of this shit, like lotto numbers and error codes and stuff like that are scattered around the game. So I feel like that was kind of the, I feel like the expectation was that you would slowly discover these things on your own and that they wouldn't be obvious, I guess. As far as like Gator, it's like, did they expect players to figure out the combination for Gator that early kind of deal, right? Machine Gun 3 lit. Like, you have access to it early, so that's something. But it's also not something where Mr. Famous is like, hey, if you get a fan and a wind, or a wind and a fan, and you combine it with my Navi's chips, you get a powerful ability, or like something like that. I'm not totally sure. I guess there were like strategy guides and shit like that, of course. I kind of want to bail on S code now. I do have one area grab star. What other codes to area grab come in? Yeah, so that's why I think, because it was in the days of like, yeah, GameFAQs and stuff like that were around, and you could look that stuff up. But like these days, I feel like even though the internet is so much more proliferated, games tend to convey and balance themselves without hiding shit. And like, you know, you think about like Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire with the Reggie quest and stuff like that. It's like, that's one of those things that if you know how to do it, it's like very easy. Bring a Wailord, Relicanth, whatever it is. Use Flash on one of the walls. But as a kid, when the internet was still like somewhat infantile, as far as like, you know, the prevalence of information, I was like, I wasn't figuring that shit out on my own, you know? But let me see, area grab. But I do like the mystique behind stuff like the Reggie quest in Ruby and Sapphire. I think that shit was really cool. But when it translates to a game like this, when you have all these different things that you wouldn't really figure out on your own without looking it up, it's like, I just feel like that's less the case these days, for better and worse, right? Yeah, I think it's hard not to look at the internet in those days with rose-colored glasses, though, because like, I was a kid, and so, of course, everything seemed much more magical and mystical when it comes to, like, figuring out stuff like that, like the Reggie quest in Ruby and Sapphire, and, you know, I guess, like, the Mew under the truck thing I was familiar with, but, like, I didn't start with Red and Blue. And there's, like, other playground rumors and shit like that, too, that were around, like the Deoxys thing, stuff like that. Mod tools and compression codes. Yeah, there were some that were in the game, but I don't even know if all of them are present, or if it was just deployed to sell strategy guides. Which, like, that could be part of it, too, in all honesty. Yeah, the command inputs for, like, Beastman and shit. I just learned about that stuff, like, within the past year. Like, since the LC came out. I didn't even know about some of these. Like, I knew about some input codes, like Variable Sword. But some others, I was like Slashman in this game, too. It's like, what? Shademan in BN5. Alright, I want to cut S code, and I think Machine Gun 3 is the one you can buy. Machine Gun 3B. Let me check. No, it's not. It's not the chip order one. I kind of want to farm these. I kind of want to continue farming these, even though it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. We have so few chips to actually find that, this should be fine, because we just got 2 out of 5. And then there's that one that's the yellow mystery data that we have to find. Oh, that's good. I'll wait and see if the snake stays on that side. Perfect. Alright, just give me the drop. If I can get 4 of these, that'd be great. Alright. I guess M code isn't terrible, and that's the chip order one. That kills. I just need Snake to stay on that side. Beautiful. Damn, dude. Lip. Cartoon Network Flash games. I do remember, yeah, I remember, like, Nickelodeon had shit like that. Like, there was, like, tie-in games and stuff like that. And there, of course, there was, like, addictinggames.com, and, that's where I discovered, like, Bloons Tower Defense and shit, which, that may have been straight up where it originated. Can you go to the other side? There we go. Demo Derby. There's another one. Yeah, I do think back fondly on those times, for sure. But I will say, I think that if you avoid social media, like, I don't know, it's tricky because some of that toxicity does seep into other spaces, and it's not like early 2000s internet wasn't toxic to a degree. But, you know, take this with a grain of salt, but the people who were on the internet in those days were either children like us, or people who were tech-savvy to an extent. So I feel like maybe on average more intelligent than just the average person who just, you know, everyone has access to the internet these days. Maybe that's not the greatest observation, but I think it has less to do with the intelligence factor, though. I think it has more to do with just the volume of people and the dissenting opinions and shit. And just, like, the state of the world, too. Or at the very least, like, being aware, people being aware of the state of the world more. And even then, at the same time, maybe not even. But that's like a whole nother conversation that I'd prefer not to get into on my channel. But, fact of the matter is, people are angrier, I feel like, in a lot of cases, and just like, I just think the internet proliferates negativity, much more now, because that's what the algorithms favor and keeps you on whatever given platform, right? Like, that's what these platform holders and social media CEOs want, ultimately, just to line their pockets with more cash. But my thing is, I stay away from traditional social media, and I feel, especially with this channel, to an extent, I'm able to sort of encapsulate a feeling, I mean, you guys can, you know, decide this for yourselves, but I feel like for my sake, on my end, I feel like the way that I kind of approach my channel is I try to make it that of an earlier time to an extent. Just without, like, the stupidity that comes from doing a channel like this when I'm, like, a teenager or something. Because I couldn't imagine looking back on shit like that. And because on the one hand, I'm kind of glad that I didn't start my channel until my mid-20s because of that. Like, there's definitely some cringe that occurred in the early years, but probably to a far less degree than would have been if I had started like 10 years prior. That's right. So I initiated another lock enemy. So if I can get 4 of these, then my folder will be pretty nasty, which is what I want. Nostalgic for the 2000s. I think it's so tricky because, like, I feel like I'm very self-aware as far as, like, how much of that nostalgia is because I was so young. But even then, I do like the freedom and the accessibility that I have to be able to, like, play anything I want. Obviously, time is now more of a factor. Of course, but I don't know, like, I've been playing, as I mentioned, I've been playing through Soul Reaver, which is like a late 90s game, and for all the jank and, like, the old school nature of it, which, you know, I can tolerate because I grew up with the N64, so I'm, like, familiar with that era of gaming, especially when it comes to more action-adventure games like that. But I feel like that puts me in a similar place, or whatever. Like, I feel like playing older games and consuming older media can put you in that mindset, which is good to an extent. I'm not doing a great job of explaining, but I'm also, like, trying to kind of pay attention to what I'm doing a little bit. So I found out that this only hits the back 3, so I need this guy to not be here. Can you... There we go. Damn, dude, can I get another drop? But yeah, I've not quite determined if Soul Reaver is going to be video worthy or not. And by that I just mean, like, if I'm going to have enough to say on it. There's not, like, a certain quality bar, because I've talked about games I really don't like in videos, but there needs to be, like, something to say other than, like, game good, you know, or game bad, or I know like, or I like, right? But speaking of which, I need to get footage for Shadow Generations. I wish I had done that when I first played it over Thanksgiving, but oh fuck. I feel like at this point I should just soft reset again. Oh, there's a new formation. This is beautiful because I'm going to hit all three. Yeah, not good enough for a chip drop, though. Yeah, I don't know, it's... I will say that, like... I do have an affinity for games and media that take place during the early 2000s, or, you know, at least, like, in that first decade of the 2000s. Like, that is admittedly a decent reason, like, it's not an inconsequential factor as far as my love for Persona 3, which I've talked about. I think in the SMT5 video I mentioned it. That the whole high school thing, it, like, works in P3, even though I didn't play that until I was, like, in my mid-20s. Because I was a little bit younger, granted, than the characters in that game, but I was, like, closer to that age bracket during that time. So, like, the flip phone thing, and, like, you know, the wired headphones to, like, an MP3 player proper, and, like, stuff like that. That's, like, much more appealing to me than, like, games that are now trying to, like, implement social media to an extent, like Persona 5 with the texting, and, like, I don't know, just, like, when that tends to come up, or if it's, like, about modern day, like, Midnight Suns had something like that, where there was, like, a social media, in-game social media thing, where, like, the different characters would, like, post on it or whatever, and I spent, like, I would do the private messages, because that's how you would do, like, the meetups, and, like, the character development kinds of shit, and the relationship. It's not, like, dating, but, like, you know, building your rapport with the various heroes and shit. So I would do that. But as far as the general posts, I was like, I could give less of a shit about reading this. Like, you could, if you were interested, you could spend a good amount of time reading through that stuff, but, like, I just have no desire to do that. Similar to in real life. Yeah, I'm like, I'll just play some of these out just to see if I'll get it. I'm gonna run a different direction, trying to not accidentally RNG manip into a shitty cycle or something. Okay, but realistically, I should probably chip down the machine gun guy to get the triple delete. But there's technically still odds at rank 10. So I don't know. It's fine. The sandworm was blocking him anyway. I do wish I had collect, though. Oh, lit, you actually can't activate this before it moves. Okay. That's gotta be a tight window, then. God damn it. Okay, at least now I can see, I can wait until this goes over there. Perfect. Bruh. Sandworm 2B for bruh. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, what else is new. Obviously, I just streamed on Saturday most recently, but, oh yeah, I did go ahead and grab God of War 2018 for 20 bucks. So I'll play that soon. That'll be a January game for me. See how I feel about that. Do I want a 2x hero? I guess I might as well double hero. I just don't want it to miss. Okay, there we go. I guess there's no downside to just waiting a second, see where the sandworm goes. Please. I want actual odds. Like, I don't trust the actual odds on EXE Zone. Because there are drops that say 100%, and then I'll get like a different chip at S rank, and I'm like, that's not accurate. Maybe for a specific formation it's 100%. Maybe. But granted, like, a lot of the details, as I was saying, are hidden, so you have to, like, do enough testing. And even then, it's like, you can tell, or I can tell at least from doing these post-games, that the drops are kind of, like, determined by your delete time. Even, like, an S rank that is 6 seconds versus 4 seconds, I don't know what the thresholds are, but there's a difference. And it seems like that is what determines what the drop is. I guess the problem... Is it 30 first and then this? If I could see what my clear time was when I got that... Oh! Fuck you. Machine Gun 3F for fuck you. Damn it. Damn. Would have thought I'd at least have gotten the third one by now. Okay, I'll feel this out, but if I don't get the encounter next, then I'm just gonna soft reset. Okay. Wait just a second, see if he's on the other side. No. It's gonna take 30 years to go over there. Beautiful. What have y'all been playing, though? I'm always curious to hear from y'all as far as what's being played, especially when it's stuff that well, sometimes when it is stuff I'm familiar with, it's cool, but even stuff that I'm not as familiar with. Alright, just one more. And then we can reorient the folder a bit. Of course, I only have one area grab star. So I won't be able to sub in... I think isn't A code the other area grab code? Looking into Pokemon ROM hacks? What have you discovered? There's a lot of crazy ones that have come out, like Elite Redux and stuff like that. These like roguelikes that are dropping left and right as well. Oh wait, no, area grab B is actually a code, so I would run that over S, yeah. Robot Control Comp 1 GMD. I think that's the first dungeon, right? Oh, been playing Engage, okay. Is this a second playthrough for you, Gustavo? Ah, fuck. Will he still kill it? Oh, lit. Proto Man, you beautiful beast. Yeah, I need to get back to Three Hopes. I need to get back to playing that. My intention was to play that alongside Midnight Suns. But I was like feeling so... I wouldn't even say I was burnt out by Midnight Suns. I was just over the story and shit, which made me want to like just get to the end. That I just put all my gaming time into that to just finish it. But yeah. Been enjoying it more without all the negativity. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have come around on it, just insofar as, like, the gameplay's great, from what I hear. And sometimes that's enough. Like, my thing with like story, I mean, you guys have been around on the channel for a while, so like, you know, but for those who may not be as familiar, it's like, when you think about someone who plays games for the story, your mind might jump to like, oh, basically like Sony first party shit. And no shade thrown at that, but for me, it's more so that like a good story can elevate a game that has otherwise great gameplay. But I try not to stick my nose up at games that have great gameplay, but the story's whatever. It's just that those will never, and I say never, at least in quotes, some air quotes, be like an all-time favorite of mine or something like that. Like, usually it takes a great story or characters or something, some combination of that, to elevate a game into an all-time favorite. Not every game has to be an all-time favorite. It's something that I try to remind myself. Like with Midnight Suns, it sounds like I'm shitting on it. I had fun with it, but it is kind of like the epitome of what I'm talking about, where it's like, not that the story was bad, but it was just like, you know, kind of ended up being somewhat generic superhero-y kinds of stuff, which is fine. It scratched that itch for a good while, but then overstayed its welcome because I was like, that craving had passed, basically. It's all pretty sad. But like with Engage, is like I'm down to have fun, and the thing is, I feel like Engage's story is, it seems from the surface like it's more fun bad than it is like infuriatingly bad, right? Obviously, it's one of those things where it's like, ah, well, if only this game's story was great, because then it could be like an all-time great in the eyes of people who have similar tastes to me, at least. As far as like, you know, wanting that kind of balance of good story and gameplay and stuff like that. But it seems like at the very least the story could be fun to like poke fun at, if anything, going through it. I'm gonna try to take it for what it is and not like gameplay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. The gameplay was something that people like instantly did gravitate towards. But I guess what I've been seeing, at least as far as like the comments on my Three Houses video, is that a good deal of people prefer Engage Three Houses because they feel like the gameplay is better, which I'm not like terribly surprised, honestly. But it's interesting. But like the GBA Fire Emblems don't have great stories either, but they're fun. They're not my favorites, but they are fun, and Engage seems like kind of in that vein. And I guess you could put Fates in the same category to an extent, but there's some gameplay stuff in Fates that I don't really like. So like that was actually the killer for Fates for me in the long term, was gameplay stuff. The maps are solid, at least the first like half of Conquest. The later you get, the less I was into it. But there's definitely some great maps in there that I really, really enjoy. But like, it's like initially, with a game like Fates, it's like, oh, the story's shit. So it's easy to dismiss it, like, as a whole. But then, long term, it's like, okay, the story's shit. Let's play it again, not paying as much mind to the story, right? Knowing that it's not very good. And then the gameplay thing started to rear that I didn't like the way weapons work and other shit. But, and that was like the nail in the coffin, where it's like, okay, I don't even know that I can enjoy this, even if I skip through the story bits. Whereas Engage, I feel like it seems like it's much more dynamic. Well, then again, I do think Fates' systems are dynamic. It's just, I don't know. I'll have to play it. I just need to play Engage. Sports. I made you laugh out loud more than prior games. In like a laughing with them way, like they want you to laugh, or in a this is dumb way, or a mix of both. Pokemon Unbound and Scorched Silver. Unbound. Unbound, I think I played some of. Scorched Silver I'm not familiar with. Pretty sure Pokemon Unbound. Let me just see like a screenshot. I know Hoopa is like... Did I play this? Maybe not. No, I don't know that I ever actually played Unbound. I might have like watched a bit of a playthrough when it first came out or something, maybe, or maybe I just heard about it through the grapevine. Dude, I gotta say though, I've been setting up my teams for the Pokemon World Tournament in Volt White 2 Redux, because I do want to do that, and just like jumping into the Gen 5 games again is reminding me that like that's some goat shit. That is some goated shit right there. Especially like after kind of not being as hot on HGSS following my Sacred Gold playthrough, and part of that is some of the Sacred Gold-isms, of that being just like an older, you know, less experienced, you know, a ROM hack from a less experienced ROM hacker at the time. As far as I know, I don't know exactly how long he had been doing it prior, but relative to now at least. So like it's part of that, but then part of me is also like, well, okay, HGSS is still like, it kind of has to be like, at least compared to a lot of the other games, higher than most as far as mainline Pokemon. But I feel like Platinum is now my #1 Gen 4 game, I should say. Still behind the Gen 5 games, though. It's like, I feel like the Gen 5 games with, like, pretty much almost like no caveats, I would say are my favorites. Whereas with the Gen 4 games, even Platinum, it's like, okay, well, the HMs kind of suck ass. Like, they're especially bad in Gen 4. Gen 3 as well. So I'm, like, really curious. When I get around to playing Sinking Sapphire, which is that Oris hack that Drayano did, I'm curious because, like, the HM stuff does translate over there. I think maybe Rock Smash is still a TM, because that was turned into a TM in, like, Gen 5, I think. I think it was Gen 5 that it was turned into a TM. Flash as well. But I'm trying to remember what... Because then, obviously, like, Cut, but Cut is, like, pretty inconsequential past a certain point. Surf is actually a good move. So, like, you can get away with running that. Fly is okay for in-game. Ideally, you don't want to run it. But, yeah, I mean, like, without going into too much detail, I guess, I'm just curious to see, how I feel about Oris upon reevaluating it, especially with the ROM hack that isn't, like base Oris, which is, like, piss easy. That's like the one of the worst parts about Gen 6. Although then again, if you turn off the EXP share and, like, don't do extraneous grinding, I'm not going to say that it's difficult, but it's definitely, like, improved with those changes. Been seeing the community warming up to engage. Mix of both with some tasty lore sprinkled in. Yeah, I'm very curious to see a lot of the references to other games. And part of my... I'll talk about this when I talk about Engage eventually. Once I play it, obviously. But I kind of don't want to farm for Battle GMDs right now. I do need to do that for bug frags, but I just want to get this last Machine Gun 3 and then we can move on. Part of the thing that off-put me from it is because it's so referential. And that was very clear from the moment they announced that, like, older characters were returning in some kind of spirit form with the Engage rings or whatever. And it's like, okay, that's cool for, like... Oh, nice. That's cool for like a celebratory anniversary kind of thing. Also, the fact that they celebrated their anniversary with a game that's about like engagement rings, basically. I know it's not engagement, but it's a little cute, a little cheeky, you know. But what's it? Yeah, like the fact that I'm sure that the lore for like the actual world of whatever continent it's on, I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure that that lore. Well, then again, Fates has like barely any lore. There's not even a name for the continent, so like I guess I can't say that definitively. I'd hope the lore is more interesting for Engage proper, but that's my thing. Is like I want like the game world to stand on its own and not have to rely on 3 of the same. Oh, 3? Oh, I can only have 3 of these. Oh. I see. Okay. I think it's still worth it. In that case, why did I farm for the 4th one? I don't know. But thankfully, that didn't take as long. What other B codes do I have? It's a similar energy to, like, when, like, Atlas... bit my tongue. When Atlas games have, like, costume packs for previous characters and stuff like that, and it's like, well... Yeah, but if I'm gonna play, like, Persona 3, I want to play as C's. I don't want to play as C's dressed up as the Phantom Thieves. If I want to play as the Phantom Thieves, I play P5. And, like, other examples like that. Or, like, it's a similar thing to, like, multiverse stuff. Where it's like, especially because of how prevalent that is thanks to, in big part, the MCU. Even though that's been a big part of comics forever, from what I understand. It's like, I'd like for these universes to stand alone. Or if they are connected, then have it be just like a singular universe that they actually just exist in. And like, technically, yes, Fire Emblem, because most of the games take place in on different continents, which are assumed to be different worlds or universes, but it's like, we don't need to tie that all together and be like, oh, well, this one is multiverse number 313, and this one is number 256, or like, whatever, right? They can just exist and just be separate worlds, right? And so I don't mind, for the sake of an anniversary title, Engage being like that, because like clearly that is... It's more for the meta reasons than it is for the in-game reasons, I would assume. But it's still, like, not my favorite method of world building, if that makes sense. Character lore. Supports largely... Oh, that's where most of the character backgrounds are. That makes sense. Harder to build supports. Yeah, I just need to play it. That's big facts. I was gonna see about waiting for the new system, but at this point, well, then again, I wouldn't get around to playing it until March, because I don't want to play it before my escapades in February, because I'm gonna be going for like damn near 3 weeks, which is stressing me out thinking about it. But so I guess, like, my point is, like, by the time I would plan to start Engage, which would be like March something at the earliest, right? We would probably have some details on when the next system would come out. So maybe, depending on the turnaround on the announcement to release of the next Switch, maybe I would wait for the next system if it's not like next fall. But even then, if no Fire Emblem game gets announced, then there's no rush, really. I want to get around to it sooner than later, but if the Genealogy remake gets announced and it's like, oh, that's fall of next year or something, then, like, yeah, I'll want to play Engage before that. I'll just play it by ear, though. I need to, like, see details on the next system and stuff first, I think. Because I could emulate it, but I'm kind of falling off of emulating Switch games, even ones, obviously, that I own already. Just because, like, I would like to play these games officially. I would like to do that. But just, like, you know, at real resolutions and frame rates, please. That's like the big thing. And real price points also. And by real price points, I mean like put your games on sale for fuck's sake. Said this fiscal year. Yeah, so like, what is it, March? It's by March or the end of March or something is their fiscal year, right? Something like that. So probably, I would say at the latest it'll be their February Direct. Like they usually do a February Direct, right? Or is it January? Or both. Whatever their usual Direct time is, they may do. But they didn't do a September one, right? Like they typically have done. But they're probably just saving it for a big blowout one. And it'll probably be like they do their announcement of the next system and then do a Direct on the games. Or vice versa. There's probably two separate presentations at least. I'm looking forward to it as much as Nintendo's kind of lost me. And well, I guess that's the thing too, is like a lot of series have kind of lost me to an extent. So I won't even be spending that much money, all things considered, if I'm willing to skip out on Game X or Game Y or whatever, right? Yeah, who knows? What do I want to throw in here? I need that area grab star if I didn't grab it already. 2 more chips. Area grab B is an option. How many area grabs do I really need, though? I guess locking out base has historically been pretty good. That's how I beat him in BN4. W code could stand to go as well. Double beast. I don't like that there's no power indicator. It's better for single target stuff anyway. What about more H code shit? Heatman. That's it. Any better codes? A code. I could run more program advances, maybe. What do I have for M code? Quite a bit, kind of. Not much that I really want to run, though. Just gonna wait until the internet erupts about the spontaneous announcement for the Direct, yeah. Basically. Because I'm sure I'll hear about it one way or another. Despite not being tapped into social media, it's like something in my YouTube recommended will pop up. Even channels that I don't regularly watch, like it'll trend and then it'll be like, hey, you've watched Nintendo stuff before? It's like, yeah. This is true. I don't know what to run. I just bailed on these, and so I'm like, I don't want to throw these back in. I feel like S code is out of the question, potentially. V. I think either a program advance and I cut one more thing. How many Buster Ups am I running? Oh, I could run one more, I guess. Seems pretty good. Then what, like an Invis? Or another double point seems pretty good, actually. Although running multiple double points without multiple area grabs seems kind of bad. But then again, this is not really... Oh, only one. Okay, never mind. I forgot that's the limitation. It's not a mega chip, but it limits you based on capacity. I was gonna say, then again, though, this is for mobs. Like, when I go to fight base, I'm not gonna be running Count EX and Count SP. So I guess it doesn't really matter what I throw in. Just throw a Navi 20. I'll figure out the folder for base later. Alright. Lock enemy expired. That's the yellow mystery data. So we're looking for Doom Mech. Yeah, Doom Mech 9 to S. Sandworm 3. And Wood Dragon. Which I can search for with Jungle. If I don't find it otherwise. That's funny. Please, just don't give me Dino Wave. A Reflector, you fucking ass. I think I locked these guys, though. Because that's Sandworm 3 and Wood Dragon in the same formation. That's pretty fucking good. But yeah, we'll see. I think my plan for, like, my Nintendo, I guess you would say backlog, there's really not that much. That'll be determined by when the next system comes out, because like it'd be nice to wait until the next system and then just play them on there. Wood Dragon lit. You're seeing Sandworm and Doom Mech. And then I still need Neo Variable, so I'll have to go farm for yellow mystery datas, which is fun. Oh shit! This formation is pretty nuts. This killed the Sandworm last time, right? Fuck yeah. Just give me the drop. Yes. Alright, now I need, what's it called? Lock enemy to wear off. So I'll go to leave. I guess running, running more like double point, or no, I can't run more double points, but like running more attack 10s or something could be an interesting idea. I feel like it's kind of wasted though. But yeah, Nintendo stuff I'm just gonna hold off for, until the next system. But again, it's like I've played most of the heavy hitters this generation from them. And some of the heavy hitters I've skipped because I'm just not interested. There's not really much that I haven't gotten around to, though. Like Engage is kind of the main one. And like Echoes of Wisdom, I don't know. I was randomly really interested in checking that out, and then I saw the UI for selecting the echoes, and I was just like, why does everything have to, like, why does every Zelda thing now have to be like Breath of the Wild? Otherwise, I think that it looks interesting, actually. Like, you play Zelda, it's more flexible. Like, I don't mind that, especially in like a top-down kind of title. And then again, it's not really like the freedom inherently that I have a problem with the open world games, but I'm just gonna be repeating myself for the millionth time. It's like, you know, don't get me started. But Literally, though. Yeah, what's the encounter rate for Doom Mech? 7.8%, Graveyard 2. Do you appear with an elemental guy? No, it's 2 by themselves. Or one of them with 2 Metar 3s. Okay. But yeah, there are some games that I have owned on previous platforms that I would like to pick up. Like Tropical Freeze, for instance. And some others, just to like have them. Like, you know, some of my favorite Wii U games, basically. That I unfortunately need to buy again because, yeah. Thankfully that won't be the case with this next system, thank God. If it was, then I would just be like, alright, I'm playing on emulator forever. I don't give a fuck. But because it's not, I'm just like, well, realistically speaking, even though their games don't go on sale very often... Oh, there we go. How often am I really buying Nintendo first-party stuff anyway? Oh, that's lit. They played themselves. And then I didn't get the drop. Right, like... New 3D Mario would get me in. Even though I had my problems with Odyssey, it was fun. I very much enjoyed at least that first run, so it's like, yeah, I'll give it another 3D. First, 3D Mario? Yeah, hell yeah. 2D Mario, I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, pass. Wonder was good, but like I've said it a million times, like I was not blown away by it like a lot of other people were. And that's fine. I think it's... I've got a bit of... more than a bit of nostalgia for like Super Mario World. But even then, Mario 3 is a game that, as stated in my tier list, like it didn't really click for me until recently. And now is one that I think back on. Mario 3 is now a game that I think about very fondly, in fact. And I need to play more of the GBA version, because that has like all, like there's a version of it with all the e-reader levels from the Wii U, and I want to check that out more. The audio is really bad, as is the case with a lot of GBA stuff, but it's something I'm willing to overlook if the e-reader stuff is good. Otherwise, I'll just go back to All-Stars or something. That version, probably. Alright, so we got 199 out of 200. The last chip is Neo Variable. Sky Area 1 Bug Fractuator for 80 bug fractures, or Undernet 2/Underground Yellow Mystery Data. So I want to say it's a 10% chance for a GMD to be a YMD. But then I need to get the drop. And I'm nervous about what I would do, I should say, is I would run Millions in my Navicust to get Zenny on my way, like any GMDs that I run into, but I'm nervous about Millions affecting the YMD drops and turning those into Zenny. So I'm gonna not do that. And just take any Zenny that I happen to come across anyway. And what I'm gonna do, because Chargeman, I want to say, spawns in the vending machine comp, which is attached to Undernet 2, I'm going to do that, as it should be a lot quicker to get to and from the GMD spawn points. I did confirm, though, that the GMD spawn points are the same as the YMDs, it's just a matter of if it spawns it as a YMD or not. So we'll see. We try this for a bit. I don't want to spend, like, too long on it. But of course, it should be like, if I do it 10 times, I should encounter at least one Yellow Mystery Data. But really, it's more like you want to look at a bigger sample size of if I did it 100 times, I would encounter 10. That's like more realistic. So we'll see. I mean, I guess I'm doing these 8 at a time. And I'm gonna grab the GMDs even if they are just green. Because we'll get Zenny for them. And I'm pretty sure it's just 2 spawns in this area. Like, I think it's 1 up there and then 1 down here. And if I get unlucky enough, maybe the chip trader will bless me like it did with Silence. I still can't believe that I was like, hey, let's just throw some chip trader shit and see if I can get Silence, and then I got Silence like a few attempts in, like fucking nuts. But yeah, the thing with Nintendo is like we don't even know their new slate. And yeah, like the volume of titles that they put out that pique my interest is it's fewer than it historically has been. Like, while I do want Legends, I want like Pokemon Legends ZA to be a good game, I do. For sure. But maybe a better example is like if Scarlet and Violet were to happen like now, post Scarlet and Violet, which I know doesn't make sense, it's like, okay, I'd probably skip out on that. Then again, like it's one of those things you could always buy a physical copy and then sell it, like resell it, or just wait and buy a physical copy for cheaper, try it out, whatever. I just find physical stuff, like physical media, to be, it's just tedious. Like, I don't really want to have to be carrying around a bunch of cartridges and swapping them out and shit. But maybe for games that I'm more on the fence for, I need to do that, though. For sure. Like, I did that for... No, I know I should have done that for, like, Pokemon. Like, BDSP especially. I don't know why the fuck I bought BDSP digitally. Would not make that same mistake again. Like, something like ZA, I'm, like, a little bit more willing to take a chance on because I thought Arceus had a lot of good ideas. And, like, Fire Emblem, sounds like Engage is a great game despite the story issues. So, that's probably not enough to lose me because Fire Emblem has always been kind of back and forth between games with, like, passable and then bad stories. Some legitimately good, I would say, but... But that's not enough to, like, lose me. If the design philosophy changed, and I guess it has, but... I look at, like, Zelda, and I know everyone's rolling their eyes because I talk about this way too often. But, like, the design philosophies and the sensibilities behind how Zelda games are made now doesn't really appeal to me. Which sucks. I don't want it to be that way. I don't know what, like, why would I want to dislike any game, honestly? But why would I want to dislike the grand open-world Zelda game that everyone seems to love? Right? Like, why would I not want to... I don't have to justify my opinions. It's just, like... It's just how it is, and that's, like, the major series. Like, Pokemon's lost me because of its quality control. Zelda, it's not so much, like, the overall quality and polish of the product, as much as it is, like, the actual game design. I guess Pokemon's kind of a mix of both, honestly. But then, like I was saying with Mario, it's like, if a sequel to Wonder gets announced, I'm probably gonna be just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's fine. But then a new 3D Mario, though. I don't know, those have been pretty damn good in the past. And plus, like, I think my thing is, I know Nintendo gets a lot of flack for, I don't have more untraps. I know Nintendo gets a lot of flack for putting out quote-unquote the same game over and over again. But I actually kind of disagree with certain series, because I feel like each 3D Mario feels distinct. Right, the 2D Marios are a lot more, I think, iterative to one another. But there's like certain series, like I feel like Fire Emblem shakes things up enough between entries. Pokemon definitely doesn't. Zelda historically kind of has, even though there was a formula that was getting somewhat stale by Skyward Sword. But like 3D Mario games, it's like 64 is kind of like the baseline now, because everything was built off of that. So it feels a little more generic by comparison, in retrospect. But it's a good game, like it's a solid game. For a game that old, it has no right holding up as well as it does. Even though it's not like among my favorite Mario games. Sunshine I have issues with, but it's very distinct, right? Like it's very different, honestly. I mean, it's somewhat of a black sheep in some sense because of that. You know, I guess like Galaxy has the more linear level design, which, I guess to be fair, there are like 64 and Sunshine are mission-oriented, but technically there are a good number of missions that are linear still. But, you know, Galaxy is a little more level-based, I guess. Or it just is level-based as opposed to, like, hub-based or, like, world-based, if that makes sense. They did 2 of those. 3D World was, like... I guess 3D Land and 3D World were kind of... They're kind of their own thing. I think 3D World is fucking great, though. Like, it's... I mean, next to the Galaxy games, it's probably my favorite 3D Mario. Like, straight up. Even though it's kind of like this hybrid 2D Mario design in 3D. But I think that's what makes it interesting. Rather than 2D Mario design in 2D, which is just kind of like... I just feel like I've had my fill, I guess, for this lifetime. I don't need more 2D Mario, personally. But 3D, it's like, yeah, they shake things up enough. And then, like, Odyssey was, like, kind of a return to 64 Sunshine style, which we hadn't seen in a while. But, you know, much wider breadth of things to collect. But the things you were doing to collect them weren't, like, that interesting. And then, like... There's like enough differences, I feel like, where it's like, yeah, like, the point that I'm trying to make is that, granted, they did do Galaxy 2, which is just, you know, more or less more of Galaxy 1. So, like, with Zelda, when they do Breath of the Wild and they do Tears of the Kingdom, which is more or less more Breath of the Wild, I'm like, yeah, but do something different now, though, because, like, that's what you guys do. Typically. Like, even with Zelda and how, like, formulaic the 3D games were, you know, from Ocarina to Skyward Sword, it's like there still were enough distinctions, especially, like, in art style, and, like, the art style is, like, not an insignificant part of that, where I'm like, can I just see a new Zelda art style, please? I like the Link's Awakening style fine, Breath of the Wild's art style's fine. But, like, when was the last time we saw a new Zelda art style? I guess you could say Link's Awakening remake. For a 3D game, obviously it's Breath of the Wild, but I'm just like... I think the appeal, I think, to me, when it comes to a good number of game series, even Persona, for how iterative some of its systems can be, like in those games, from 3 and on at least, each game has, like, a distinct tone, and, like, yes, it's, like, you know, anime art style kind of stuff, but, like, the games do, in my opinion, look distinct. Even Reload, I think, has, like, a distinctness to it, despite people who are like, oh, it's just P5 again. It's like, it doesn't really look like P5, though. But, whatever. There's stuff like that. But I think with Zelda, it would take more than just an art style change to get me back on board. Because even Echoes, now I'm like, do I want to play this? I'd be down to try it. But I'm also like, have I had my fill of top-down Zelda? Right? I mean, A Link Between Worlds was amazing. And that's like one of the newer top-down Zelda games. Granted, it's over 10 years old at this point. But it's what, the third most recent? Or no, Triforce Heroes, but that's more of a spin-off, right? I'm hoping that Chargeman can find Yellow Mystery Datas and it's not just Mega Man randomly. I'd like to find a Yellow Mystery Data and not get the drop that I need just to confirm that. Because I've done this, what, nearly 15 or 16 times? I'm also hoping that there's not like a third spawn point randomly. Because I know Mystery Datas can sometimes spawn up on this top platform. This way. Let me just check real quick. Like, should I make that a part of my rounds or what? At least I think I've seen Mystery Datas up there before. It's making me nervous that maybe only Mega Man can find these for some arbitrary reason. But I think I'm just getting unlucky. Like, I don't see any reason why Chargeman couldn't find yellows. Right? One more. It'll be number 16. Also, am I missing a sub-memory? I feel like sub-mems cap out at, like, weird numbers, though. There might be 9 total. It's probably, like, a single-digit thing, maybe. It'd be cool for Nintendo to put out a new IP that isn't multiplayer-centric also. Because as someone who isn't a big multiplayer guy, I'm like just inherently turned off by Splatoon and ARMS. And Splatoon is fun. Like I remember I played like a match on my friend's Wii U when I was in college, but not enough for me to want to play it on my own, really. So it's like, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see that. I don't necessarily need that, though, because I'm also just like, well, I'm down to just save more money and not, or just like not spend as much money because there's, you know, fewer games that I'm interested in from them. And then plus the fact that I'm not going to play third-party stuff on there anymore, since I have my PC now. Which I didn't when I first got the Switch. So like indies and third-party stuff I can play on Steam, and I can refund if I don't like something within the first 2 hours in 2 weeks. 2 hours of playtime, 2 weeks IRL. And things are going to look and run better. and I can wait for sales that are actually real. Granted, non-first party stuff on Switch, I'm sure goes on sale to an extent, but Steam sales are pretty primo, I would say. I'm gonna look this up real quick though. BN6. Yellow Mystery Data. Other Navis, maybe? Yes, a Neoseeker forum post from 2006. Not helpful. Game facts. I think I'm just getting unlucky. I can't think of a reason why. Then again, there's some arbitrary shit in these games, but I don't see a reason why Chargeman couldn't find these. But I'm also not finding them, which is a little discouraging. We're getting some bug frags though, which is cool. You know what I'll say? I'll say if I don't find a single Yellow Mystery Data before I reach 80 bug frags, which is what it takes to buy this chip outright. If I hit 80 bug frags just from green Mystery Datas before I find a yellow, then I'll just go buy it. And then I guess I'll just have to grind 100 more bug frags for the fucking Giga chip, which is pretty annoying. But this way I can at least complete the standard library and fight base. And then... And that's still a good bit. Like, I still need 28 more. So... That's a lot. Maybe I reevaluate when I hit like 80 bug... Or no, it's 80, sorry. Not 20. 28 for 100 for the Giga chip, but 8 more for this chip that I'm looking for the yellow Mystery Data for. Yeah, I think that's fair. Because, like, it's possible that I can't find yellows without Mega Man specifically. So if that doesn't get proven wrong, by the time I hit 80, I'll just go buy it. And then, yeah, I'll have to farm... I guess I'll have to farm, like, Battle GMDs for 100 more bug frags instead of just 20 more. So... I've done more tedious shit in these games, though, than this, to be fair. This is actually pretty painless compared to some of the other stuff. Like, at least I'm not having to battle at all. But yeah, there are a good number of games, though, Nintendo aside, that I am looking forward to next year, assuming they come out next year, actually. I talked about those some last time, though, but... And there's still probably a good bit that we don't know about, too. And it'll be nice, too, cutting back on streaming to an extent. Obviously, I want to put that time into, like, making uploads, practicing for my music stuff more. Like, and not having to stress about it, I guess. Because, like, I'm able to prepare enough for these gigs that are, you know, sometimes several months out or whatever. In this case, like about a month out. And that's like a 3-week ordeal. Some of that's gonna be like visiting family and stuff too, but I want to be able to like do that stuff without having to like, you know, on the days that I'm working, like go to work, come home, exercise, which I don't do every single day, but I try to do it as often as I can. Exercise, then practice, then stream, then try to have a little bit of time to myself before going to bed. It's like it's just like a little bit too much at the moment. And wait, what the fuck? I guess I didn't spray Sneak Run. I enjoy streaming though. It's just it's getting a little bit stale, I think. And I think finishing up these Battle Network games is going to help a lot. Because I can do PvP stuff, which I would like to do, maybe a little more spontaneously. I don't know which games are most active or how I would need to go on the server, or if it would just be enough to like make the title of the stream like Battle Me on PC. The fact that it's not cross-platform is like really, like the fact that it's not cross-play is really unfortunate. Because I'd be down to battle y'all if I could, or at the very least if it was cross-save and I could put my saves on my Switch or something. But it just, I don't know. That's just not the case, so we can't do that. I'm becoming convinced that I cannot find yellow mystery datas, but it might just be rarer than I'm thinking. Maybe the 10%'s inaccurate. It's one of those mystical things. I don't even know if Rockman EXE Zone has a page on it. Because when I look it up, BN6 mystery data, Rockman EXE Zone. There's a Battle GMD page. What if I search yellow? Oh, wait a second. In battle chip locations, it says something about gold mystery data, gold/yellow. Upon checking in, one of the internet areas, excluding central areas 1 and 2, can be chosen to have a gold mystery data spawn in it. It will replace one of the regular green mystery datas in that area. Overall, there is a 25% chance of a gold mystery data spawning at all. Like, on the net, period? Ah. There is a 1.39% chance to appear in one area, and 12.5% chance at each item in the pool. Holy fuck. So not even, like, a 1.39% chance for it to spawn in any given area. It's 25% to show up somewhere. Which means this would be I feel like it's more time consuming for me to go all the way on the net from undernet to underground, because that's the other spawn point for this particular drop. Like, that would be the way to do it, technically. Then again, though, you back out of undernet 2, go to undernet 1, and then Sky Area does connect to the central area with underground. And so if it's a 1.39% chance for one area, then you multiply that by 2, maybe 3 if underground 1 and 2 are separate. Also, it just has underground yellow mystery data, so I guess it could be either. So that'd be 1.39 times 3. That's a 4.17% chance that it appears in any one of those areas, right? I think that's how that works. So that would be tripling my odds, but it would also mean going from the undernet to the underground, which again, not terrible. Maybe we can try it. That's going to be spraying more sneak runs, though. But fewer untraps for how many mystery datas I'll grab. so maybe it pays for itself. It would pay for itself more than it is currently, which I think I'm actually losing Zenny. I don't know, should I try this? I guess so, right? The problem is if I run into, like, Element Man or Circus Man. Like, it's higher odds. Because, like, I guess all the mystery data spawn in at once. So if there's a gold in the underground area, specifically, then it's there already, like, it's decided. It's the wrong way, god damn it. Oh my fucking god. Alright. It's going smoothly thus far. Does Colonel spawn down here? There's good old Colonel. Show his beautiful face down here. Or nah. Also, I don't know where the spawn points are here, so I'll have to figure that out. There's one. I'm gonna assume that it's two, just like most other areas. Great, thank you for that. I'm just like, is this worth the trouble, or is it better to just keep resetting Undernet 2? And I kind of feel like it's just worth continuing to reset Undernet 2. Because this takes so much more time. Like, in the time that I check, does it take 2 to 3 times the amount of time? Probably less, right? Well, no, this is pretty quick, dude. Like, what features would you like to see announced in a Star Force Legacy collection? I think some kind of Buster Max is a given. I don't know what I want to do here. It would be nice to see... I feel like it'd be nice to see some kind of encounter toggle, I guess. Obviously, if there's Japanese exclusive content, I would expect that to be there, given the precedent with these LCs. Beyond that, I'm not entirely sure. They tend to keep things pretty vanilla with these collections. So it's hard for me to say. I'm gonna try this method a couple of times. My eyes are starting to glaze over a bit, though. Like, losing interest in what I'm doing a bit. Jeez, I mean, do you guys have any ideas for features that would be nice to be included in a Star Force collection? I'm kind of drawing a blank, but I think it's because I'm a little fried right now from doing this. Another bug frag, 774. Is there a... yeah, okay, there's a second one here. I don't know how I feel about this method. I actually kind of prefer that the yellow mystery data drop is specifically these areas. Oh, Omega Sys as a as a main menu navigate. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be dope. I'd like to hear his him speak, because I'm sure he's got like a gruff kind of voice or whatever. And I'm not familiar with any like anime adaptation for Star Force, but that would be neat. I'm still surprised they didn't release more skins for Mega Man in the collection. Like, it was just those pre-order ones, and that's it. Which, I guess, fair enough. Better to allocate the resources elsewhere, but also, how long could it possibly take to throw together some other ones, right? You could easily, like... I'm glad Capcom isn't nickel and diming like this, but you could pretty easily... I'm gonna grab this. You could pretty easily, do like, hey, here's a BN4 pack, where it has all the Double Soul skins for the main menu Mega Man. Here's a BN5 pack. Like, they could have so easily done that. And on the one hand, I'm kind of grateful they didn't. They showed some restraint, but it's also just weird. It's like Mario Maker 2, how it has, like, 3D World is, like, the only other art style or whatever that you can select. It's like, clearly there was intention for more. And it's like, with this, it's like Hub Style and Dark Mega Man, and that's it. I was like, that's fine. It's better than nothing, I guess, but seems like there should be more. Don't know what you would do for Omega Sys, though, because he doesn't really have other forms, like, on his own. But I do think it's funny when, like, very serious and, like, gruff characters speak in, like, a tutorial-y kind of voice. It's like in Sonic Heroes when Omega, you know, the robot that goes around literally saying kill when you're destroying robots and shit, is like, to pull the lever, press the B button, and move backwards. Like, but obviously, like, more evil. That's more like Gamma's pitch, but shit like that is funny. So hearing Omega Sys be like, you know, Mega Man Star Force 1, complete, or like whatever, would be neat. Kind of funny in that way, too. Dude, this is my life right now. Beep up a doo. Beep boop up boop boop up beep boop up boop beep boop beep boo. Shabba-dee beep beep booty. Boop-a-dee beep beep boop boop bop. Beep bop boop beep boop beep boop. Boop-a-dee boop boop be doop. Boop-a-dee bop bop boop boop bop. And you know what I might do? Because I'm gonna start streaming a little more sporadically once I'm done with this post game. It'd be nice to have like one day a week that is regular or something. But at the same time, I kinda want to transition to a point where I'm just streaming when I feel like it, kind of thing. More or less. I mean, I'll do my best to like with Saturday, for instance, like just randomly, I was like, yeah, I think today's the day that I'll get back to it. So like I'll try to like schedule them somewhat in advance, because I don't want it to be unfair to y'all, like just springing stuff like that on you if you're not able to tune in and you want to, right? But I was thinking, like, I need to capture that footage for Shadow Generations, and it's like, what if I just not even leave up the VOD necessarily, but just, like, stream it so I can capture the footage on my end, too. No face cam, though, so that way I can just get the footage, but like, stuff like that, I guess. Like, just more kind of off the cuff, not necessarily for preservation or VOD purposes, just like, hey, here's a stream, catch it if you can, if not, it's gone. Shit like that, I guess. Although, and like, it's not like I never want to do full playthroughs again, because obviously, like I mentioned, Sinking Sapphire is something I want to do. Oh no, it's sneak runs. Fuck. Okay. There's like some more Pokemon stuff I want to do, and like I mentioned, Battle Network PvP, Pokemon Showdown I think would be something I'd probably transition towards as I run out of Pokemon games that I want to play through proper. There's fan games and stuff like that too, obviously, but I feel like if I start getting into that kind of stuff, it would be maybe worthy of another channel. Like, maybe worthy of doing, like, a Pokemon channel straight up, but... Pokemon channel, haha. Shoutouts to the GameCube game that is barely a game, but... I don't know, it's a thought that I've, like, thought about. So I feel like I'm too knowledgeable on Pokemon to, like, never talk about it. Or stream them, or, like, whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want this channel to be just, like, too Pokemon-centric. Granted, I think I literally only have one upload that is about Pokemon currently up. But yeah, like, a dedicated Pokemon channel could be something for the future. I wouldn't expect it within this next year, but that could potentially be something. Like, it's something I've thought about. I guess particularly if I get into competitive more, or something like that. I feel like if anything, it would be mostly streams and maybe like Showdown lives. Potentially, if I decide that I want to do that. I don't know what metagame I would want to focus on necessarily. It would definitely be singles, competitive singles. Not that I am against dabbling with doubles, but I don't really want to play multiplayer on the actual games. Yeah, I feel like if anything, it would be like Showdown Lives or something like that. But something like that, while it wouldn't take a lot out of me as far as time necessarily, because a lot of Showdown Lives are very lately edited. Like, you don't really need to do a whole lot of editing there. I feel like I'm good about, in the playthroughs that I've done, just like talking through my thought process there. And so it would be like a similar case with Showdown. It's just obviously against other people, so like kind of more interesting in a sense, at least for me. Oh no, have I been saving? Unclear. No, I haven't been. Fuck. Okay. I hate this. I really hate this. Oh my god. I guess it doesn't matter that I wasn't saving because I didn't even get the fucking drop. But the bug frags that I got are gone, so that's fun. I guess technically I could just do this 8 times and soft reset. And just run around a little bit to not RNG manip too much. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, if anything, if I ever did make a separate Pokemon channel, it'd be probably more so competitive leaning than the actual games per se. But, I don't know, I guess we'll see, it depends. If ZA, like, turns the series around as far as quality control is concerned, that could change things for me. In fact, should I even bother to pick up these GMDs? If I'm just gonna, like, soft reset, like, shouldn't I just check, leave, enter? By virtue of that, then I don't need to spray, I know I keep saying spray, it's like, I think of them as, like, repels in Pokemon. I don't even need to use untraps, I can just sneak run. Also, this is, like, a bad... I'm gonna go, restock, save before I jack in, and then sneak run only, check. And then if I see a yellow mystery data, then maybe I'll use an untrap, just in case those can be trapped. I don't know if they can be, or not. But just as a precaution, considering how rare they are, it's like a drop in the bucket. But holy fuck. I would be better off just, like, grinding bug frags. I'd be better off grinding bug frags and getting to 180 instead of just 100. But it'd be great. It's like, how much time would this take versus grinding 80 bug frags, right? I feel like probably longer. So then it's like, why the fuck bother? Like, why bother in that case, right? It's a 1.39% chance for a yellow mistreated to show up. And then when you pick that up, or not when you pick it up, but like when it spawns in, it's a 12.5% chance for it to be any given drop. So what is that? You multiply 1.39 by 12.5 or something like that? Or rather, it's like because 12.5 is what? 1 in... It's not 1 in 10, it's 1 in 11? 1 in 12? What's 100 divided by 12.5 is 8. 1 in 8. So there's 8. So then what? Is it 1.39 divided by 8? Is that accurate? A 0.17, or wait, yeah, 0.17%. Is that accurate? Is my math mathin'? This is fucking stupid, dude. Thankfully the stream hasn't been that long thus far, so it doesn't feel like a total loss. I'll do this like a little bit longer. But even then, I'd be better off just grinding bug frags straight up. It's green. And I don't know... That was a green, for sure. I don't know where the best place to farm for Battle GMD, like bug frag drops, is. There is a Battle GMD guide, in fact, on... It's a green. There's a Battle GMD guide on EXE Zone, so... I'm not doing this. This is fucking trash garbage. Where's my tab? There it is. I thought there was an EXE zone page on this. I thought I literally just fucking saw this, though. Am I crazy? Did I not? Battle Green, it's spelled out, that's why. Bug Frag. 3, 4, 5. Immortal Area and the Graveyard give very similar drops. It's like 3,000 Zenny, 5 Bug Frags, and then 2 chips. And I guess I would just lock enemy. Dude. This shit's so fucking ass. I don't want to do this. God damn it. Fuck. I've done so much fucking grinding in these games. I'm done, but I'm not. Definitely should have spaced out the post games more than even spreading them across a whole goddamn year. But I think my time would be better spent grinding these bug frags than it would be grinding for yellow mystery datas. Because the yellow mystery data spawns are shit. The odds are shit. I'd rather spend the 80 bug frags and just grind an additional 80 bug frags in that case total. Thankfully I'm not too far off from that initial 80, but then I'll need another 100 to get that last Giga Chip. But then again, do you need Giga Chip completion for BX to spawn in? Maybe you need it to fight base? Maybe base isn't just beyond the standard chip door, there's probably another door? It would make sense there's other doors. Let me see. Graveyard 2 map? No, that's not what I'm looking for. BN6. Graveyard 2. No, it's just the one door from what I'm seeing on this map at least. And then there's like a little question mark terminal thingy. Unclear. I might just Buster Max grind these battle GMDs to cut down on tedium. It was a bit of a pride thing not using Buster Max, but then when I used it for 5s, shit, because I was just over it. I was just like, alright, fine, let's let the floodgates open, I guess. I don't want to use them on bosses. And I'll plan to not do that for base. And the plan for next time is like to basically just do the base stuff. In case base BX is a little bitch and doesn't show up. Like he tends to do. And worst case, I Buster Max lock enemy. Like I did in 4 and 5. The problem with 5 is that I ended up locking the harder variant that I wasn't trying to fight. That I wasn't aware that doing the e-reader, having the e-reader chips active, or the e-reader buffs active, is one of those things that triggered it, which is unfortunate. Because I would have fought him legit if it wasn't his, like, insane form. But yeah. Damn. Sky Area 1 Bug Frag Trader. So... Whatever. Question is, Immortal Area or Graveyard? Immortal Area is more easily accessible, has lower level viruses. No, it doesn't. Immortal Area is about the same. Graveyard's probably better because there's no Navi spawns. I don't have to worry about the count showing up and ruining my day. I guess if I'm getting these 3,000 Zenny drops 25% of the time as well, then maybe this helps pay for the lock enemies that I'm gonna need to use. What a pain in the ass. I don't need sneak runs though. Though, I'm gonna buy one more just so I'm maxed. Yeah, I'll max out on sneak runs even though I don't need them. I really don't want to do this, whatever. Home stretch. Second to last stream, doing this bullshit. It's not gonna sound like the thing is, it's not really gonna sour my opinion of these games because like how often am I gonna do all of this tedious bullshit for like post game stuff? It's like not often. And I think like the only game that I could see myself for sure doing 100% again would be 3. Honestly, this game hasn't been too bad either, but I don't get as much satisfaction from like fighting the bosses here as I do in 3. That's like a big part of it. Alright, so we're going to the graveyard. I guess I do need a sneak run. Well, I don't need to. I should sneak untrap this one time, so that way any GMDs I pick up on the way, I can maybe snag some Zenny or something for more lock enemies. Yeah, 300 Zenny. I could try my luck with the chip trader as well. It's worth a shot, but I would want to, I guess I'd want to at least have the bug frags on hand. And I want to say, part of me is like so tempted to just check these GMDs right now just in case. I should just pick them up anyway, because that's cash. In fact, I should be running millions right now, if I'm going to be doing this. Because I do have that, right? Yeah. Yeah. This shit's garbage, dude. Like, I love these games and everything, but it's just too much. I mean, I guess part of it's my own damn fault for doing it so close together. I probably should have done like 2 and 3, maybe 4, and then left it at that, and then like come back next year and done 5 and 6 or something, but just peel the band-aid off. Get these over with. I mean, at least I'll have complete saves for PvP's sake. Like, I'll have access to pretty much anything that I reasonably want for my folder for PvP. Because we're madmen, yeah. Somebody called John Hamm. My big thing was, like, I really wanted to experience BN3's post-game for sure. And I'm glad I did. Like, that was actually great. There was some tedious shit for sure. I think, yeah, I mean, part of it's because, like, this Legacy Collection was such a long time coming. And I've never done the post-game in these games, so it's like, okay, let's see what it's all about, because that's, like, a big thing when it comes to Battle Network is the post-games. Like, that's the thing is, like, oh, there's extremely extensive post-games. Mostly because you're grinding for bullshit. But still extensive. I'm also... I've talked about this a lot on stream, though. Didn't even hop into the alternate versions. Yeah, that's like a whole nother thing. Like, I'm not that dedicated to want to do it in all the different versions. I'm content with just doing one version each. I did blitz through the story modes for the other ones, though, for trophy's sake. Achievement's sake, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so we're looking for a battle GMD formation. So as soon as one pops up... Also, I'm going to Buster Max this because it's just going to be quicker. I don't think there's any doubt. See, this is the thing when it comes to stuff like this. It's like, is there any doubt that I couldn't just use the chips in my folder to get these battle GMDs? No, I don't think there's any question because I literally was doing that earlier. So let's just cut out the middleman and get straight to the point and just get the bug frags that I need, right? Although I need to find a battle GMD formation first. I don't even know if there is a battle GMD formation in this first area. Maybe it's only in 2. I might just go to 2 to get the GMDs, like the regular GMDs also. Fucking God. Okay, there's one. I have Buster Max installed, so I can just do this. Beautiful. And I'm thinking, assuming this there's so many bug frags I need, that's the thing. But assuming this goes smoothly, that's not the formation that I locked. Fuck off. Assuming this goes smoothly, I could see myself maybe tomorrow, before people start setting off fireworks, streaming to just fight base and knock that out. So that way it's technically before the end of the year. Oh my God, lock enemy. Lock enemy, as in locking the enemy. As in, give me the same formation, please. Thank you, piece of shit. Okay, Zenny's not bad because it's more lock enemies. The problem is I need 3 drops of that in order to get more, and what I would more realistically like is 15 bug frags instead of 9,000 Zenny. which is why I'm not saving, because I'll soft reset and try to get different drops. Like, I'll save after every bug frag drop, but if I run into a formation that's not it, I'm soft resetting. And then if I'll just keep going until I get a bug frag. Or I guess until this lock enemy runs out if I don't have any. Yeah, that'll be it. Yeah. Like, I'll do a few encounters before I soft reset, just to save my sanity a little bit. Assuming it's actually locked. And I know it's just increasing the chances of finding that same encounter. It's not guaranteed, but I've encountered the same encounter with lock enemy multiple times in a row before, so there's no reason why it can't happen again. I just need the right RNG. Lit. And so I could go to just 80, but I'm down. Honestly, let's just see where we're at once I use up these 3 lock enemies that I have. Oh my god. Because I'll need 180 total. But given that it's 5 per drop, that's what, like 21 more drops because I'm offset by a bit? Oh my god. So we're at 83. Whatever I was doing there was like manipping. I don't know if it was a manip, it's probably just like I'm getting lucky, but yeah. In fact, it doesn't make sense not to soft reset. Why would I not just soft reset after every encounter if it's not bug frags? To, like, save... To be as efficient as possible with the lock enemy. The few that I have, currently. Another fucking yawn. That was some like demonic RNG where I got a random, like an encounter that I have not seen before. Look at the going roads and shit. was on a good streak there for a minute. What happened? Just gonna rub my feet on this, the base of this tombstone here. More bug frags, please. No. This is not what I ordered. I'd like to speak to the manager. Oh, man. Yeah, the prospect of playing new shit is exciting. Not even just like new releases necessarily, but just like something. I've been streaming Battle Network stuff on and off since the Legacy Collection dropped in April of 2023. So, let's let that sink in. I took some pretty major hiatuses here and there, but and granted, I'm talking about still doing PvP, but that's different. It's like, that's like finally, that's kind of like a payoff for all of this other shit, in some sense. And it's not like I'm gonna be doing that 3 times a week either, necessarily. I like this trajectory that I'm on right now, though, with these drops. And you ruined it. You damn recovery 300, you bastard. Look like a lucky corner over here. Lock enemy expired. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. 2 has some banging soundtracks, dude. This is Quickman's dungeon, right? I think so. I thought about doing a dungeons tier list for these games. That's something that I feel like I could do. There's pretty clear criteria I could use, or like categories that would work for the tiers. I feel like if there was another Battle Network tier list to do, I feel like that would be it. Double Souls and stuff like that could also be an idea. But I don't know. I would want to do that specifically. If that were to be something. And plus there's some Double Souls and Crosses that I'm not like familiar enough with to really speak on their utility. I know like Space Cowboy did one that was based on their designs, which I think was a neat idea. Although I feel like if anything, I'd probably do it more like Navies or something. I guess you could go per game and do like Navies end forms, maybe. I don't know. There's lots of options. I just think like a dungeons tier list. I feel like I know where I stand with all of the dungeons in Battle Network, so that'd be pretty easy to do. Star Force I'd be a little less confident, because some of them I'm not as familiar with. Am I sitting at 113 already? Dude. Alright. The Sacred Corner has, overstayed its usefulness. There we go. You love to see it. Bum 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 bum. Shit like this where I just need to like zone out, I guess. So apologies for not keeping up the commentary, but I'm also just like, if I pay too much attention while I'm doing shit like this, I'm going to actually go insane. God damn, dude, stop. Zenny's not bad. I'm not gonna save though. I'll soft reset when it's a chip, and I'll only save when it's bug frags. Okay, so no soft reset, no save. That might be high enough value to just save, honestly, but... Again, it's like, I feel like at this point 10 bug frags is more valuable than 6,000 Zenny. We take those, though. Because that was enough to basically buy another lock enemy. The 6k plus, like, the actual battle rewards, which is like, what, 450 or 500 each? Something like that. And honestly, what I should do... I'm gonna use up these lock enemies I currently have, but before I buy more and farm for more... The thing is, though, like, I could play my chances with the chip traders, and, like, sure, I could do that and save myself 80 bug frags, but if I damn near have the 180 that I need anyway, then, like, what does it matter? Just buy them anyway, right? Shoo-ba-doo-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I think I need to curate this playlist a little bit more. Not that this track is bad, but there's like some tracks where I'm like, this would maybe be a skip, depending on the vibe. It's good for streaming. But yeah, I guess, I think I mentioned last time, I reinstalled Sonic 3 Air, which is like the fan-made, remake, I guess, of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's not really a remake, it's just like another build of it, with new features like the drop dash and a bunch of other stuff, honestly, mod potential. And Origins has that too, sure. I don't think Sonic Origins is that bad of a package, honestly. I got it on sale earlier this year, right? It's the 30th, right? Yeah, earlier this year. I enjoyed it. I played through all the games, got all the achievements. It was a good time, you know. 2D Sonic games aren't my, like, favorite side-scrollers ever, but 3 and Knuckles, there's something about it that, I really enjoy. Like, it's a great just, like, jump in and play a couple zones kind of game. Like, it's kind of one of those games where if I can't figure out what I want to play, or if I don't feel like playing something that's, like, story-intensive or something where I can play, like, a little bit more relaxed, that's, like, a recent go-to that I'll jump into. And that's something that I, like, dug into more after playing through Sonic Origins earlier this year. I was, like, looking into the fan-made projects. Because I think Sonic 3 and K is my favorite 2D Sonic. Even over Mania, which I think is a great game in its own right. Very polished and all of that. But I think I'm just grown to like 3 and K a little bit more, personally. Between that and, like, Shadow Generations being great, also, it's like, damn. I, like, recently discovered the other 2 of my top 3 Sonic games, I guess, all these fucking years later. Which is crazy. Because I think at this point it is probably, like, Sonic Adventure 2. Some combination of Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow Generations, and 3 and K. Heroes is up there too, but Heroes is jank as fuck. I still think it's fun. I think there's a lot that I like about Heroes. I talked about it on stream before. Old watchers of my channel will remember my video on it, maybe. But that's like a deep cut because it's not up anymore. That was one of those cringier projects that I was referencing earlier. But if that Heroes remake ends up becoming true at some point, I'm on board for that. Honestly, like any remake, as far as like adventure era Sonic games, I'd be on board with. Given how Shadow Generations was fantastic, like actually, like level design wise is like the main thing. That was like my main concern, to be honest. As far as remaking, like, the adventure games, for instance, but if they display the same chops as they did in Shadow Gens, with, like, a Sonic Adventure remake, and I feel like I'm less attached to Sonic Adventure 1. I grew up with it, of course, but, like, I'm less attached to it than 2. Like, I do want those games to get remade, but there was, like, a level of skepticism, for sure. But with Adventure 1, I'm like, okay, even if the Adventure 1 one ends up being, like, a little weird, then at least you learn those lessons and you take that into a 2 remake, right? I guess. Ideally, both being great would be great. And this is like, hypothetical, but you're kidding yourself if you don't think it'll happen at some point, right? It only makes sense. But then again, sometimes these companies don't do what makes sense, like Capcom with Mega Man. I mean, these collections, I don't want to be ungrateful as far as these collections, though. Because I'm glad that these exist, but I want something that isn't just a collection of older stuff. And even then, like, you could argue, oh, but isn't a remake, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it's not the same, really. Especially if you're thinking about a remake of, like, something in the terms that I'm thinking of it as not being like a one-to-one, just a prettier version kind of thing. Like, no, I want, like, Sonic Adventure remakes that are, like, built from the ground up and, like, are different. But also similar. Like, there needs to be similarities to a point, right? But I'm like, as much as I love SA2, it's like, there's problems. There are things that I don't think hold up super well. Or that, maybe not even hold up, but, like, things that, like, were never that great to begin with. Like, aspects, not anything, like, super major, I would say. But just point being, there's a lot of room for improvement despite my love for that title, which is why I want to see a remake of it. And if the remake sucks, then the remake sucks and I just keep playing the original. No harm, no foul. But the remake's great. I mean, shit, I think that I like the level design in a lot of ways in Shadow Generations more than SA2. Part of that might be recency bias, but like you look at Radical Highway, which is a fun level in SA2, but then you look at it in Shadow Gens, granted it's the difference between Shadow's first level in his first game and the last level in his most recent game. But the new version of Radical Highway is so much better than the SA2 one. I prefer less reliance on the Doom Wings for some of the segments, which you don't need to use them, but the level's kind of designed for you to use them in certain spots. But beyond that, yeah, it's like I'm gonna replay those levels again for the third time now, since I did the story run, and then I went for S ranks, which didn't have me replaying every single level because there were some that I got S's on first try. But I replayed most of them to get S's. So I'm gonna go back through and just like play them again for footage sake. But like I was very impressed. Which is why I want to do a video on it and talk a little bit more in depth about it. But not even just the game itself, I want to kind of... Similar to my Pokemon tier list, where that's kind of like the singular Pokemon video on the channel that encapsulates my experience with the series, I kind of want the Shadow Gens video to be that for Sonic. Because I don't have an interest in playing like any of the Sonic games that I've missed, honestly. Like there's a reason why I'm like very much a Fairweather fan. And very much like a fan of a particular era from when I was a kid of Sonic games. Like aside from Mania, the most recent Sonic game release-wise I had played was Generations. And that was only like 4 or 5 years ago when I played it on PC for the first time. And I have issues with Sonic Generations. I like it. It's good. I think Shadow Generations shits all over it, personally. But... whatever. And that's coming from someone who 100%ed Sonic Generations earlier this year, so I know what I'm talking about. And I'm kind of dreading doing that on Sonic X Shadow Gens, on the remaster. I will do it at some point, because it's more of a tedium thing than like a difficulty thing. It's just time-consuming and annoying. And like, obviously Shadow Gens could learn... I don't want to spoil too much about what I'll talk about in the video, but like, it's clear that Shadow Gens learn some lessons from Sonic Gens. Like, there's fewer challenges that are higher quality, and like splitting up the side-scrolling into their own acts as well. And even then, I think the side-scrolling is just... I think just the level design is better in the side-scrolling segments for Shadow, for what it's worth. I had more fun with those levels than like any side-scrolling anything in Sonic Generations, really. Well, okay, Speed Highway is pretty good. Speed Highway Classic is good. City Escape is okay. I don't know, it's just... there are some... It's really like... Speed Highway and City Escape are like... And I guess Sky Sanctuary is pretty fun, I guess. But... It's like with the side-scrolling stuff, it's like I'd rather just play 3 and K. I'd rather just play Mania. In those instances. And with the 3D levels, they're kind of hit or miss for me also. Especially, I think, partially because I don't have much nostalgia for... Well... I don't know. I guess, like, I did grow up with the Mega Collection. So I had some experience with the classics when I was a kid. To an extent. I think Shadow Gens kind of speaks more to me, maybe because... Well, then again, I guess mostly, what, 3 out of the 6 zones pull from SA2. Like, it's 2 SA2 levels, and there's a Heroes level. Then the other games I haven't played, like, I haven't played 06. I haven't played, good lord, I haven't played Forces, and I haven't played Frontiers either, and I don't really have an interest in doing so. But those levels are dope, like, actually, like, the remixes, like, the levels in, Shadowgens, despite not having nostalgia for them, I think they're sick. Especially, I know it's controversial that Chaos Island is a level, because Shadow wasn't in Frontiers, and there should have been a level from Shadow the Hedgehog, I get that. But I think the Chaos Island level is actually, like, one of my favorites, straight up. Especially once you figure out how the Doom Morph works, because there's a little bit of a learning curve with that. I haven't even fully mastered it, because when you're on the ceiling or on the walls, it's, like, a little, tricky. But as far as, like, the swinging physics, and, like, the launching and shit like that. Good luck, have fun. Thank you, thank you. We are almost there. 153 out of 180. This has been going so much more smoothly than trying to find that damn yellow mystery data. That damn 4th Chaos Emerald. Yes, so I've done... I did BN1 post-game off-stream, but I've done 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now 6, all on-stream. So this is approaching the end of doing all of them. And there's, like, some stuff that I would need to go clean up that... Like, the special chips or whatever in BN2 that you have to do PvP for. I didn't do those. And then in BN4, I'm missing... I'm technically missing 3 chips that are Lotto only, but I chip traded away the Lotto only codes that I need for the program advances, so I kind of screwed myself. So I would just need to find someone to trade me those Lotto things. So like, there's a couple of trade, like PvP trade oriented things I need to do, but other than that, I've done everything that I can on my existing save files, for what it's worth. I guess with BN1 I didn't do program advances, but there's no title mark for that. Like, I unlocked base and beat base, so it's like, what else is there to do in BN1, really? So yeah, it's just grinding for, Neo Variable, which is the last standard chip I need, and then also purchasing the Giga chip that's 100 bug frags, then fighting base. Getting his Giga chip, then base BX spawns in, fighting him. So yeah, it's basically just Giga chips and this one standard chip are left. Oh, and I guess the one program advance that requires base. That's true. But I think I'm gonna do the base stuff next time. Coming back with an adult understanding to 100% these sounds fun. Yeah, it is fun. It's... Glad you clicked in too. It's very tedious, I will say, though. Definitely something to pace yourself with, I think, because it's just a lot of grinding and RNG drops, which is kind of grating after a while. Have a fave chip? Have a fave chip out of all the games? Ooh. That is a good question. Damn. I like air hockey a lot. I think air hockey is a fun chip to use. It's pretty cheesy when you use it with the double souls in 4 and 5, but there's something satisfying about like landing in air hockey, stun locking a boss or something like that. Gosh, I'm sure there's others that I could think of if I was like looking at a list or something like that, but yeah, air hockey comes to mind as being one. How many more do I need? 168, so I need 3 more drops to get past that 180 threshold. And then we just go to Sky Area 1 Net Dealer, and I think that's the guy who has both chips that I need. In fact, if I wanted to be really OCD about it, I could get 1 more 5-drop and then go pick up GMDs for single drops, but I don't think I care that much. I'll just get 2 more 5-drops. But yeah, I would be talking more and doing more commentary, but I'm very tired right now and a little fried from doing all this grinding, but appreciate you popping in though. It's always fun to see new folks saying hello and all of that. And it's neat to know that my streams sometimes pop up in people's recommended. That's semi-common occurrence. But people usually let me know, which is cool because these games are old as shit, even though the Legacy Collection's new. So it's like, it's neat that there's still interest. Hint, hint, Capcom. Hint, hint. Capcom, maybe make a new one, please. That would be great. Two more drops. And I managed to do this with just those 3 lock enemies, too. Which I think is pretty impressive. It helps that I've been soft resetting every time I, just get a chip. Oh, and that's the last one, so I have to soft reset here if I don't want to come all the way back here. Yeah, so that's definitely doable. I've gotten more than 2 encounters with the remainder of this, so I just need to literally soft reset if I don't get bug frags. I'm glad soft resetting is so quick, too. On like an actual GBA, you'd have the whole splash screen and everything. So this is much appreciated. And plus Buster Max just speeds things up too. I don't need to like... I would just be timing Proto Man chips here anyway. So it's kind of the same difference. Come on. Bug frag, bug frag. Yes. Alright, 1 more. Yeah, I'm probably gonna play some more Soul Reaver after this, which is gonna be fun. Although I'm trying to do the... There's an achievement in like one of the water areas where it's like, don't touch the water. And like get to this one spot, which is trickier than you'd think because it's like PS1 era platforming, which is a little less comfortable than I would like, but trying to get that to proc. I thought I did it, but I think Raziel's legs touch the water or something random. Worst case, I just do it on a second run later down the road. Because I still need to do that first Kain boss fight without getting hit. That's like another one that I missed, unfortunately. But that game's cool though. Like those, I'm looking forward to playing the second one, because that's a PS2 game, which I didn't realize. It's pretty sick. And I'm down for more. And I looked into it too, I was like, why didn't they do Blood Omen? And Blood Omen is like way different. It's like a top-down, like, action RPG kind of thing. It's like very bizarre. Uh, it's cool. I'm just like, I was just surprised that it's so different. But I'm down for more Legacy of Kain. That was always, not someone who grew up with PlayStation, but like, that was one of the PS1, like kind of not exclusive because there's PS2 games, but that was one of those PS1 era IPs that I was most interested in. Like that was like, if you look at the all-time great PS1 games, as far as what I haven't played, because I played the Final Fantasies already, those were the Legacy of Kain were the ones that like caught my eye most, for what it's worth. So I'm glad those made their way over, or at least the Soul Reaver games did. Those two. And here's hoping that it sells well enough to get more, just like how Tomb Raider's getting 4, 5, and 6. Because the 1, 2, and 3 remasters sold well enough. I don't even eat half of my protein bar. Just save it for later. Not hydrating enough either. See, I don't even feel like relieved. I'm just gonna buy 2 of these. I think I only need 1 for base BX, but just to have a backup. But I'm not gonna do this right now. I think I'm just gonna go... Well... There is a barrier for that last reg up, I think. And the question is, I don't think base challenges you immediately as you open the door. I think you go to that little question mark thingy. And I just want to look at the map for Graveyard, or just regular Graveyard as far as this map says, but this is like the English version map. So it's actually Graveyard 2. And so the reg up is behind a flame. Can Heatman, if I have the library completion, can Heatman open that door so I can just get the flame immediately? The Cyclone just has Zenny. And the HP Mem only Mega Man can pick up, but I'm gonna stay there as Mega Man because I'm gonna fight base and shit next time. Yeah, I figure let's grab this reg up, or at least open the gate. I think these guys can grab reg ups though, because it just applies to your folder. It's not like a direct upgrade for Mega Man specifically. Also, it is funny, it's like that meme of downloading more RAM. But like actually though, like that's funny. That's actually funny. I just made that connection too. And it'll be good if tomorrow's stream is a little bit shorter because, again, I don't want to be streaming when the fireworks start going off. And if I'm streaming earlier in the day, then I don't want it to be too... I don't want it to just, like, eat up my entire day kind of deal. So it should be fine. This way, right? And then this one. Home stretch. Ended up not being too bad once I decided to just grind battle GMDs. So much better than going for like the sub 1% odds of finding this yellow mystery data with the chip that I need. Oh my god. The fact that I even did that for a little bit is like a little embarrassing because like goddamn. Just grind the bug frags. I'm just gonna recommend that immediately. If you're trying to find Neo variable, just grind the bug frags and just like buy it. Also, I didn't set an untrap because I'm dumb. But it's all good. Hey, appreciate you. But yeah, you can't burn down trees, right? I don't think. Oh no, yeah, you can. Forgot they have 2 utilities. There's a charge +1 that I don't need. We take those, and then I'm hoping if he can't open this, I'm gonna be so sad. Okay, thank God. Slurping up that fire. Nice, last reg up, so I should be at 50 megs. Yeah. I don't know what I can tag with that. Double point, I guess, is 50 on the dot. Double point I can tag. I don't know why I'd tag that over fast gauge, but still. And this you can't pick up because it's an HP mem, yeah. So we should be good to jack out. And now... I head there as Mega Man, save for next time. Because I have literally everything I can get right now, because these last 2 Giga Chips are base-oriented. And this last Program Advance is base-oriented. So next time we fight base, we do the last PA. I have enough sneak runs. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll grab more before I go back in for base BX, because I think he spawns in... I think you have to jack out and jack back in for the free roaming base to spawn in. I'm pretty sure. That's usually how it works. That's how it worked in BN2 at least, with like Planet Man and stuff. Like you had to leave and then come back. What's left? It's literally just base. It's base, the Program Advance that uses base, and then base BX. So that'll be the plan for tomorrow, I guess. Ideally, it'll be a shorter stream. I'll do it before fireworks start going off so that it doesn't annoy me and pick up on the mic. Then again, people around here tend to get a little overzealous with it, so like they might start shooting off fireworks like kind of weirdly early. And also the sun sets early also, so I guess that's a good point. I'll figure it out. Such tight games because they were still a bit limited. Yeah, I think that's especially true, I would say, for like AAA stuff. Instead of living an alternate life, yeah. Yeah, that's totally fair. I do think that there are a lot of games out there that are like overly bloated and are trying to be as vast as possible. And it's weird because I thought that we moved past that after the open world craze started to die down. I thought, like, you look back to the mid 2010s, for instance, like post Skyrim, I feel like open worlds became like everything was open world. But now I feel like things have dialed back a bit. Like Resident Evil's back. The JRPGs are long in a lot of cases, but I feel like that's kind of a genre that's known for being a little longer. Granted, I don't know that some of these JRPGs need to be so long per se, but it just kind of, I guess it just kind of depends on where you're looking. Because there's also, I would say, you do bring up a good point though, but I do think the resurgence of older school styled games in the indie space has been big. Like, one of my most anticipated games of next year is the new Ninja Gaiden. Like, a new side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden, which is like... Who knew that that would ever happen? Which is sick. I'm not even, like, a massive Ninja Gaiden fan, I just think it's cool, and I think those games are cool. But... Ragebound looks fucking sick. And I'm just like... When there's stuff like that on the horizon, it's hard to be too upset, I guess. And plus, a lot of what I tend to play is, like, older stuff. Or, like, not even AAA, really. Like, I've said it a lot, like, Atlus games, which Atlus is a studio that I don't play everything they put out, because some of the spin-offs and stuff don't appeal to me, but they're a studio, they're like a AA studio. They don't make AAA games, really, in the traditional sense. And I feel like it shows in a positive way. I enjoy my AAA bangers now and again, for sure. But they tend to be more in line with, like, your Final Fantasy 16s or something. And, like, Rebirth I'm looking forward to, even though I know that game is long. Did I play Catherine? I did play Catherine. I will warn you, though, I didn't really like it that much. But the puzzle gameplay was not really, like, my biggest qualm. Per se. Where the fuck? Oh, this is, like, back in Graveyard 1? I didn't even realize that there was a, I like that Catherine exists, at least, because it's a very unique title. And I think that studios could stand to, like, experiment more, in general. It's like, I'd be interested in more one-offs. Not necessarily like Catherine exactly, but, like, more one-offs from Atlus in general that aren't just a part of a series, even though I do love my, you know, long-running series and franchises and shit. But yeah, there are, like, I want to play Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3, like, I haven't gotten around to those yet, as far as, like, AAA stuff. But, like, the number of AAA games that really draw my eye, it's like, pretty few and far between, honestly, which is good for my time and my money, to be honest. And there's plenty to play anyways in the backlog. Like, I've been working on playing all the Final Fantasies, which I'm not too far off from, honestly. Oh shit, we're locked in. Okay. I didn't realize this would lock me here. I don't need anything else, I just need to, like, go to the obelisk in Graveyard 2. Do I have a sneak run up? No. I don't have enough bug frags for the bug frag trader. So let's just go back to where I was and not take that one-way path. Whoops. And we'll go ahead and call it. But I like it when studios do more experimental stuff, even if it doesn't always appeal to me. Like, Kunitsugami looks cool. I tried a little bit of the demo. I just don't really have... Like, I'd be interested to play more of it, or play more of the demo at least. I just haven't really had a chance to. And stuff like that. Projects like that. What do we get? Oh, I see. Oh, this thing doesn't show because I'm looking at the American, I'm looking at the American English version of the map, which is when this was the only graveyard area. I don't know what's gonna proc the cutscene. I'm assuming I have to interact with this thing. Okay, never mind. Alright, we will save this for next time, aka tomorrow. Fuck off. Alright. I'm just gonna save at the bottom of the stairs because I don't want to get into doing the counter here. Although this banger just came on, so... But yeah, I know I'm saving a million times. Just those 2 more Giga Chips. Bum, 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 bum. Mm-mm-mm-mm. But yeah, I'm pretty wiped out, so knock this out tomorrow to actually finish this before the new year, which is what I set out to do in the first place.